Yeah, I'm going. All right, guys. Another, out of boredom kind of video. Man, it's, since I landed that job, things have gotten so much easier for me. My life is definitely, I'm eating way better, eating, good American, greasy, fatty, no good for you food, that tastes good, not just ramen noodles. I like ramen noodles, I do, especially when you can, grind up squirrels in it. It's pretty tasty that way. But anyway, we can talk about culinary stuff later. I'm making this video because, I want to talk about the beauty of God. I know I called him a maniac earlier, and he is, man. God is a maniac. He is, just all the horrible things that you see in the world. He created that. Why? I don't know. I don't know, man. It's not really funny. I don't know what I'm laughing about. When you think about, war and childhood leukemia and brain cancer, Alzheimer's, the list on and on and on. All these terrible things that we see every day, to on our loved ones, Well, I want to talk about some beauty, about some of the beautiful things that God does do. And I want to tell you one time that this happened to me, that God handed me this, and I don't know why he did, just other to remind me that watching over, I don't know, but definitely it was a spiritual experience. It was my first longest trip on the bicycle, and we had come out of Dothan, Alabama. There's a big peanut festival there, and that's pretty much the last, good carnival spot of the year. Goes on every year. It goes on even now, it even goes on even now, It's in Dothan, Alabama. It's a peanut festival. Any kind of way you want to eat a peanut, peanut pie, peanut cakes, peanut this, peanut that, peanut butter, it's just anything you can do to a peanut, they do it at this festival. It's been going on for a couple hundred years. It's a real old festival, really old. Not the oldest one I've ever played. You get up into the north up there in New Hampshire and, Rhode Island and New York, and there's some fairs up there that have been going on for 250 years and longer. Some really old fairs. But anyway, the point I was getting to was that sometimes God shows us beautiful things, and so this is what happened to me when another I can prove God is real kind of things. I'd gone out of Dothan, riding my bicycle, right along, mind my own business. We make it to the Panhandle, and a lot happened to me on that trip. I'm just going to talk about what happened to me when I got into the Panhandle of Florida. But I'm riding along, and I get to this forest, and I want to say Caloosahatchee Forest, but I'm pretty sure I'm wrong about that. I'm going to have to go back and Google and look at the name of that forest. I'm saying Caloosahatchee, but I'm probably wrong about the name. But it doesn't matter. The story goes like this. This forest, it's like 25 miles across, it's a big, forest, And this, the day was coming to an end, it was coming to an end, and so I knew I had to get across this forest or I would be eaten alive by mosquitoes. We're in Florida now, So I headed out, all right, and there's nothing. It's like a 25-mile trek of nothing. But I said, we're doing it, boom, and I go, So I'm riding along, worried about the sun going down, I can hear mosquitoes, but I'm riding just a little bit faster than mosquitoes can fly, and so I kind of was outrunning them, I'm riding along, we gotta get to the end of this before the sun goes down or we will get eaten alive. And all of a sudden, this butterfly comes up and lands on the handlebar. It was a monarch butterfly, and it landed on the handlebar. And I'm pedaling my ass on. All right. You don't weigh that much, so I guess you can stay. It's not like a pelican landed there or anything. It's just a butterfly. And me and this butterfly are cruising along. And I'm like, yeah, it's kind of cool. And a couple minutes later, all of a sudden, on the other side, this other butterfly lands on the other side of the handlebar, and I'm like, all right, you don't weigh that much either, so hang on, buddy, because we ain't stopping in this forest. We ain't stopping for nothing, man, and we'll all get eaten alive, pedal along. And then so another butterfly lands, and then another one on my shoulder. I'm like, what the fuck, man? Where are these butterflies coming from? And I turn around and look behind me, man. Oh my God, man. There were millions of these monarch butterflies. And evidently, monarch butterflies fly as fast as I pedal my ass off. It's probably about 6 miles an hour at that time. Usually I only go about 4, but I was trying to get across those 4s. I was probably doing on average about 6 miles an hour. And there was this huge cloud. They made their own shadow on the ground, like a cloud. You see cloud shadows go along the ground. This cloud of butterflies had made their own shadow. And we all cut across that forest, man. We did, man, because they were, they wanted to get out of there too, I guess, And, man, we, just me and this cloud of monarch butterflies and a whole bunch of them, man. By the end of it, man, there was probably 50 of them just clinging on to me and the bicycle. I wasn't going to swat them off or anything. I was like, all right, hang on, because I ain't stopping. And we made it to the edge of the forest, and actually me and that cloud of these monarchs still went across Florida, when the sun went down, when I would stop, they stopped too, I followed this cloud all the way. I was on Highway 98, and they followed me on Highway 98 all the way until I hit Highway 19, which is where I turned south to get back down to Fort Myers. At the time, I would hang out in Fort Myers, work the shrimp boats down there. And they went off, they kept going, east. And I would Google it later and find out they would go east and then to the north. And monarch butterflies, evidently, because I researched it later, of what I saw, what I'd witnessed. They start off in South America, and they go all the way up into Iceland, or Greenland. And it takes them like 3 generations. They'll like reproduce like 3 times along the way. It's really cool what those butterflies do. And not all of them follow that. Some of them go off course because I remember as a kid, seeing them down there in Miami. So they'll go down there too. I don't know if anybody up in the north says you see them up there, comment please about it if you see them up there. I would assume if they'll go to Miami, they'll probably, go off migration to other places, where food supply, But that's what they do. Anyway, that happened to me, and it was beautiful. I wasn't alone out there in that forest. I had a whole cloud of monarch butterflies flying along with me. I'll never see that again in my life. That was a one in a lifetime thing, man. I had the idea about YouTube, but it just hadn't really sunk in yet, so I didn't get any of it on video. I'm just gonna have to keep that one to myself because nobody else witnessed it, only me. Alrighty, guys, stay out of trouble. If I think of something else cool to tell you, I'll call you in a little bit. Alright, bye.